First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu visits China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation, assures Lagos residents of February ending flag of date of Red Line Rail project. Ogun State awaits federal government approval for reconstruction of Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Expressway. And the foreign crowds gather across Turkey to mark anniversary of devastating earthquake. And then in sports, Vice Chairman of Lobby Stars expresses disappointment of a club's elimination from NPFL Under-17 Youth League. And now the details. I am Mike James. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has visited the headquarters of China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation in Dalian, China, to conclude transactional conversations with the top management of the company on the purchase of rolling stock for the Blue and Red Line in the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu during the meeting expresses government's commitment to reducing the traffic congestion in Lagos in line with the traffic management and transportation, which is the first pillar of the Themes Plus developmental agenda. The governor charged the China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation, who delivered those of the Blue Line train, to deliver additional rolling stock for the Red and Blue lines before the end of the year. The company, while responding to the governor's request, assured that the additional rolling stock, which the Lagos State government procured from China for the Blue and Red lines, would be delivered in December. The company also expressed a commitment to continuous partnership and relationship with the Lagos State government in rail transportation. The Lagos State government has appealed to all Lagosians on the prompt payment of land use charge to avoid enforcement. Commissioner for Finance Abayomi Oluyomi made the appeal during the strategic interactive session with stakeholders on land use charges in Lagos State. Oluyomi reiterated that all residents must see land use charges as a priority, compulsory and mandatory, as compliance would ensure that the Lagos State government can fully implement the Themes Plus agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration for the benefit of the citizenry. He said various channels for easy payment had been listed at the back of the bill, while Lagos residents can also use the communication lines for inquiries or complaints on land use charge, while encouraging everyone to use the discount offered by Mr. Governor for those who pay early. Oluyomi warned that defaulters might face severe penalties for non-compliance. And as the world celebrates the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, the wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on parents, particularly mothers, traditional leaders and community leaders, where female genital mutilation persists, to consider the damage and irreversible health implications inflicted on girls. While acknowledging the progress made in the fight against female genital mutilation in Nigeria, Mrs. Tinubu says there is need to confront the practices that still persist, causing irreparable harm to girls, and parents must again be remembered of the responsibility to protect the rights, vulnerability and well-being of the girl child. Mrs. Tinubu commends all first ladies of state and non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations and healthcare professionals for lending their voices to the fight against female genital mutilation across the entire nation. She says as they collectively strive for the full eradication of female genital mutilation in Nigeria by 2030, all hands must be on deck to continue to speak up against this injustice done to girls. The International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, FGM, is celebrated globally on the 6th of February, and the theme for this year is Her Voice, Her Future, investing in survivors-led movement to end female genital mutilation. And over to the rest of the stories. The Ogun State government says it is awaiting the final nod of the federal government to begin the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Expressway. Special advisor to Governor Dapo Abiodun on media, Kayode Akimade, in a statement says Although there is a presidential approval for the concessioning, there is no extract from Federal Executive Council FEC conveying approval for concessioning. While explaining that the procedure for the concessioning is incomplete without FEC's extract paper, Akimade pointed out that the extract is needed to raise funds for the project and to discuss with investors. It will be recalled that the Minister of Works, David Umahi, had announced in October last year, after the FEC meeting in Abuja, that the federal government had finally concessioned the road to Ogun State government to reconstruct, following pleas by Governor Dapo Abiodun. The reconstruction was to be carried out under the Highway Development and Management Initiative, HDMI, with the involvement of Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, and the Federal Ministry of Finance. The federal government has renewed the suspension of commercial flights from Niger Republic to Nigeria and from Nigeria to the nation's northern neighboring country by the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS resolution. This resolution was put forth by ECOWAS in response to the event in Niger Republic on July 26, 2023, when the democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted in a coup and replaced by the military junta led by General Abdurrahmani Chiani. The notice to airmen was contained in a letter titled ECOWAS Restriction on the Republic of Nigeria from the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, Aeronautical Information Services, and signed by the Director of Air Traffic Services, Tayo John, on behalf of the agency's Managing Director and Chief Executive. It states that these restrictions do not affect overflight aircraft through Niger airspace, aircraft in a state of emergency, and special flight. The notice adds that special flights are to obtain authorization from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace. And in some foreign news, crowds have gathered across Turkey to mark the one-year anniversary of the earthquake that devastated the country, with many people expressing anger over the authorities' response to the disaster. In Antakya, capital of Hatay, the worst affected of the 11 southern provinces hit by the magnitude 7.8 earthquake on February 6, 2023, crowds jostled with police, calling on city mayor Lutfu Savas to resign and booing Health Minister Faritin Koka. The tremor and its aftershock left towns and cities in ruins and killed more than 50,000 people in Turkey and 5,900 in Syria. Locals say the delayed response of the authorities meant that many were left to die, trapped for days under the rubble in the freezing cold. And over to sports news, Lobby Stars have expressed displeasure with the under-17 team's failure to progress to the Nigerian Premier Football League Youth League playoffs. The vice chairman of the club, Dominic Lofa, expressed his displeasure while welcoming the team in Makurdi. Lofa described the situation as hard luck and unfortunate, saying that despite performing very well at all the competition, the set target was not realized. He encouraged the delegation not to lose hope but reflect on the incident that would help them gain a better experience to improve in subsequent competitions. And that was our news at 12, but just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicle is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. And on YouTube, subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 450,000 pupils with e-learning devices? Well, you can get more details on the Lagos State government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has visited the headquarters of China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation in Dalian, China, to conclude transactional conversations with the top management of the company and the purchase of rolling stock for the blue and red rail lines in the state. The Ogun State government said it is awaiting a final nod of the federal government to begin the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Expressway. We also told you that crowds have gathered across Turkey to mark the one-year anniversary of the earthquake that devastated the country, with many people expressing anger over the authorities' response to the disaster. And then in sports, Lobby Stars have expressed displeasure with the Under-17 team's failure to progress to the Nigerian Premier Football League Youth League playoffs. And for contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstate.gov.ng. That ends the news broadcast. It was compiled by Kayode Mafolashiri. Thank you for listening, Lagos. A beautiful Tuesday afternoon to you. Shall be stepping aside for Micah Arocha, who's going to be here to take you through lunchtime workout. To have a wonderful time out.